I'm Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook, where you can eat better, spend less. We have real food for real families. None of that crazy stuff here. Pancakes, waffles, the good stuff, chocolate cake, all the good stuff here. Maple glazed chicken, our #1 recipe. Today we are talking about high altitude cooking. Now, as most of you know, I live in Colorado. Mom has lived in Colorado before. And high altitude cooking can be a little tricky, but it's really not as scary as it seems. Now, thanks to modern conveniences.
Once you learn the basic, a couple of basic things, then you've got it.
Yeah, and you know, thanks to modern conveniences like ovens that regulate, it's really not as big of a deal as it used to be when they were cooking on wood stoves and that kind of thing. But there are still a couple of general rules. So, #1. At high altitude, and we're talking 5,000 feet or higher usually, things cook slower. Yes. So when you go to hard-boil eggs, when you go to boil potatoes, you're going to need to add an extra 5 or 10 minutes, depending on what you're cooking.
Here in Kansas, it's 10 minutes for me to boil my potatoes. Yeah. In Colorado, it's at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, and when I lived in the high mountains in Allens Park, I was at almost 9,000 feet. It took about 25 to 30 minutes for me to boil my potatoes.
You get up there more. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. But, so, things like potatoes for mashed potatoes, eggs for scrambled eggs, for deviled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, you're going to need to add a little bit of time. Cakes and cookies. Now, most of the time you can follow the recipe, but if you find your cakes and cookies are not turning out quite right, add 1/4 cup of just regular flour to your recipe. That should get it. Now, the one area really does affect things is cooking candies.
Yeah.
In Dining on a Dime, right here, we have a high altitude list on how to cook candies, but when you're cooking candies like peanut brittle where you have to boil it,
it's a hard ball or soft ball.
You're gonna have to do it for longer, and you're gonna have to watch it a little more carefully. I mean, you have to watch candies carefully anyway, but really watch it when you're at high altitude.
But it's not impossible. Grandma's made peanut brittle in Colorado all of her life, you know. Yeah. And she just doesn't even think about it. So
yeah, and I do too.
Yeah, you just get used to that little bit extra time, and you're good to go.
And once you are doing it, then you realize what's going to work and what's not, and you can do it. So anyway, those are the 3 little things for cooking for high altitude. Please like, subscribe, and share. Check out our Dining on a Dime cookbook in the description below, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.